Okay, Elliott Liu just won his second round game against Master Nick Karlow, and he's gonna talk about his game here.
Okay, so unfortunately for him, I've had the exact same position before up to move 19.
Wow.
It took place in 2009 in the U.S. Junior Championship against Michael Lee, and Grandmaster Sam Shanklin and I actually did some analysis in that same position, and it's much better for white. So unfortunately, he locked into a huge preparation all the way up to move 19. So,
So Tony, you want to replay the moves?
You just click on move 19 and it should.
Elliott, let us know where you want to stop.
No, he wants to shot.
So where did he go wrong?
Oh, yeah,
I'll
what's
tell you
this,
guys.
by the way?
Okay, so
Stop.
Guys, let Elliott talk, please.
So this Bishop D2 move is the old line in this crazy King's Indian. I mean, all of you probably saw Hikaru's game a couple days ago in a similar line. But
Yeah, that's right.
the whole idea of Bishop D2 is so that when Black plays F4, it's not hitting the bishop with tempo on E3. So White's whole idea in this line is to get an early C5 break, and he's going to use the F2 square to hop with his knight to prevent G4 from happening. So that's the whole fundamental basis of this line. So knight F6. F3. So like the key point here is White is never going to play F3 until Black plays knight to F6. Because we have to make sure that Black loses control of the C5 square before closing the center. There have been many games here. I like all of White's positions after what happened with pawn to F4. The three other moves that have been played a lot, notably by Kasparov a few years ago, there's King H8, there's C5, there's also C6. Those are the three principal moves in this position. After pawn to F4, it kind of gives White everything that he wants. And again, in the King's Indian positions, time is very important. And if you're not losing time getting kicked back, that one move can make a huge difference later on in the game, as it does here. So, because every move has to be extremely precise. So, G5, Rook C1, G6, and B5. Okay, so here, just a quick note, if he goes pawn to A6, I actually sack the piece, and I take on D6 with huge compensation.
Wondering about that.
How do you sack it?
So
Pawn takes pawn.
after A6,
Pawn take.
pawn takes
Okay.
pawn takes knight, pawn takes pawn with enormous compensation. Or,
A6 is coming.
yeah, so this whole line I don't think is good for Black. So Rook F7, Bishop A5, B6 is only moves. Pawn takes pawn. Same thing here. If he takes my bishop, I take on C7 and play Queen A4, and Black's already probably lost. Pawn takes pawn is forced. Bishop E4, Bishop F8, Rook C6. So I've had this same exact position before, 6 years ago, and I've done a ton of computer analysis from it. So he just walked into kind of a buzzsaw today, unfortunately. I had it all worked out. So in my game 6 years ago, the only move he found was knight to E8, and then I continued A4, pawn to H5, knight to F2, and this is where Shanklin and my game both deviated. So Shanklin was playing Nizhnik, the very strong Ukrainian prodigy. We had the exact same position, and he also won that game. But that's the best Black can do. White's idea, although it looks very threatening, I'm basically going to sack this rook. So if you guys can envision, after knight to E8, defending the D6 pawn, at some point, Black is going to have to play like a bishop to B7 or bishop to D7. I'm actually not going to move my rook. I'm going to play queen to B3, so that when he takes my rook, I take back. Powerful pass pawn along with the diagonal against Black's king. It's just very bad for Black. So here, I guess he kind of panicked a bit and he played G4. This is the first new move of the game for me. But pretty much, unfortunately for Black, he doesn't have his normal King's Indian attack. I just have too many pieces, and his pawn change is going to collapse. So I had to do a little calculation here, but it pretty much works out. So I thought for a bit about bishop takes pawn. I think it's definitely playable too. But I thought it was important here to immediately threaten getting rid of this light square bishop. possible. So I thought if I were to take with the bishop, I'm not threatening it directly. So I thought this was a little more forcing. I expected him to go like either rook to g7 or maybe take here first. There's an interesting line after pawn takes pawn, for example. I was looking at knight takes rook, pawn takes bishop, knight takes queen, queen here, and then knight takes e4. It's interesting. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but I still think white's better.
Yeah, it's not looking at 94.
But okay, I can also just not get the complications right. I can always just call the recapture, or if he moves his rook, which I thought he also might do. I was honestly planning on just liquidating and not taking a chance and just taking everything off the board. I mean, I'm a enormous pawn up. Of all pawns to be up, this is the one to be up, and it's just, I think it's just winning for black already. But okay, so he took on d6, which takes g3, and now I just have to do a little bit of calculation. His plan, of course, is just to go knight h5, queen h4, and try and mate me. But again, unlike a lot of kings ending in positions, I have more than enough pieces to defend, and this whole pawn chain's collapsing. So I had to make sure I wasn't getting mated. Worst comes to worst, I envisioned that like his knight would get here, and I had no issues just sacking my rook and letting him take it. I wouldn't. I mean, these two pawns are worth like 2 pieces almost. So here I was completely winning, but of course I wanted to make sure I didn't get mated. So I took on. Let's see. Yeah, it's probably forced. Bishop takes. And here I thought he would try knight to h5.
Yeah, we looked
That's
at
what
that.
he did.
Yeah,
He took the pawn
he took
first.
first.
He took on this too.
And for knight to h5, obviously his idea is queen to h4, but I don't think it's still that big of a deal because I can even go h3, and when he goes queen h4, I can sit thinking a second on c8.
Sack that nasty bishop.
He has no way to break through. So I'm still winning.
And if he sacks first, like h3, bishop takes h3?
You mean right here?
Well, knight h5, h3, bishop takes h3,
Yeah, you can.
It doesn't matter. I just take back.
and queen h4, and you just just also, yeah.
And the problem is, like, normally on king's ending attacks, he has a knight that can either come to g5 or h4, but unfortunately, he just doesn't have the pieces anymore. So, yeah, okay, so pawn takes pawn, king takes, knight to h5, and then again, I've had these positions before, and a very powerful idea is just get my bishops here and threaten queen to d4, and it's basically over. So I just had to make sure I wasn't getting mated. So bishop c4. I guess here he technically already could resign, maybe. I mean, the threat. Can you hear my move?
Oh, sure.
The threat obviously is just simply pawn to d6. So he has to do something. I mean, for instance, if he goes, let's just say queen to h4 checked, king to g1, knight to g3, I'll probably just go d6. Nothing's happening after queen h1, king h2. It's just
There's
nothing. So he tried bishop to d7, and actually there is a tricky line here. So I have to be careful. This is like his last chance. But a cool line goes if I go like rook to c7, for example, he has a chance. So he can go queen to d5, and then when I go bishop to c3, he now goes bishop to h3, and my rook's hanging.
Wow.
And the key point here is after I defend the mate threat, so let's say I move my rook somewhere, and he takes, when he does discovered check, unfortunately my bishop falls. So, and then obviously I don't want to go rook to d6 because that blocks my pawn, but luckily, no matter what, I wasn't even going to move my rook anyway, so I had to make sure that it still worked, so bishop c3 is very neutral. Yeah, I mean, if he takes, it's just...
So this is the last critical point for you. Now, when you saw that you couldn't play, you at this point you didn't say you couldn't play rook, bishop up and rook to c7 and allowing a trick there. How long did you sit there before you saw this? Did it kind of surprise you when you saw you couldn't do that?
No, I expected. I mean, I wasn't even gonna play it. I just wanted to calculate it for fun to see, see what was going on.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, this is just very thematic.
Beautiful.
there's no issues here. I mean, I do have to point out too, he did a good job throwing tricks at you. So next move b5. Here it's tempting just to play bishop to b3.
Yeah.
But if you play bishop to b3, then you can play pawn to b4.
Oh, he's not a good bishop.
And the annoying thing is that if I leave this diagonal, then he has g7 for his rook, and all of a sudden maybe I can get swindled somehow. And also, you know, if I go back to e5, I'm still winning, but I want my queen to be going to d4. You know, the battery like flipped. So luckily I can just take this with no issues. If he takes on c6, I was just planning to take with the pawn, which I think is just completely winning. Again, with the threat of the queen trade and bishop to c4 again. And then knight to g3. I had to make sure again I just wasn't blundering, and the queen to d4 is curtains.
Yeah, it is.
Curtains, baby.
It threatens.
That's a slammer.
Yeah, it threatens mate in one, and then obviously if he ever tries to escape with this king,
It's mate.
I just
Still mate.
check here.
Bishop to b4.
Bishop b4.
Yeah. Beautiful game.
Peter
Beautiful
said
game.
his best at that point was mate in 12. So
Yeah,
so
yeah.
probably
Very
because of the
magnificent,
Saxon
man.
stuff,
Very
but
magnificent.
basically a 1.
Yeah.
Very
Very
magnificent.
Okay.
Did you play queen d4? That was beautiful.
Good job, Elliott. Good job.
Yeah.